Dear students, welcome to the course Introduction to Metaphysics of Sanskrit Language, and this is lecture 16. In continuation of the previous lecture, we are going to discuss mantra. That is the main subject matter for our course. Mantraatmak aspect of bhasha is based on mantra. So first we need to have an understanding about meaning of the mantra. Mantra is denoting the word coming out from two roots. One is matri and second is matri is having two roots, manu and tri. So in turn this mantra word is coming out as a derivational definition, just like I told you, drishyate anen iti darshanam or nigamyante anen iti nigamaha. In the same way, the derivational definition for the technical term mantra is mantrayate guptam paribhashyate anen iti mantraha. This is what is the definition. This means mantra is an instrument through which hidden things can be discussed and described. Mantrayate guptam, guptam means mystical, hidden, gupta hai jo. Paribhashate means described or discussed. So mantrayate guptam paribhashate, whatever is hidden that can be discussed and described by the mantra, that's why they are named as mantra. And this term mantra is derived from the root matri, gupta bhashane matri. Matri means Gupta Bhashane. That's why in Arthashastra, in Kautilya's Arthashastra also, we have a lot of Arthashastras, but in Kautilya Arthashastra, which is popularly available right now, you can find that the Nrip or Rajan was in a habit of mantrana. Mantrana किया जाता था, meeting नहीं call की जाती थी. So mantrana means mantrayate guptam paribhashyate, that can be discussed, which is hidden, uncovered, which the covered aspect should be uncovered. So on that covered aspect, whatever is discussion is being made, that is mantrana. So mantra shabda is coming from matri gupta bhashane with ghai pratyay. You don't know ghai pratyay, but in Sanskrit we have the suffixes and a lot of suffixes are there. Another derivation of the term can be brought about by the root manu avabodhane and tri palane. Manu avabodhan, manu means avabodhan. When we consciously get aware about something, that is avabodhan. And in the same way, tri means palan, observance. So in this derivation, mantra has both the works. One is avabodhan, knowledge about something, getting aware about something. Palan means observance. Just like if your mother is going somewhere, she says to the elder child that you take care of the younger boy. आप अपने भाई का थोड़ा ध्यान रख लो. Observance, that is palan. So this is these are the two tasks of the mantra. Kashmir Śaiva darshan presents a fresh form of mantra. A fresh form of the mantra, and this system lays down the existence of mantra as Mātṛkā devī, the goddess or the power of phonemes, which can be called as Mātṛkā devī wherever you find the Shakti Sampradaya or Shakti worshippers, especially Odisha, Bengal. We belong to the Shakti cult. What is Shakti cult? We worship the feminine energy. We worship Shakti, that is functionality. The root cause of the manifestation is Shakti, and that's why dominated by the worship of Shakti is Odisha and Bengal, that is the Shakti cult. And this is just because we had this corpus of Agama and Tantra Shastra. So the culture is coming from that. The corpus is not known to you, the culture is known to you, because you have been trained to practice it, but you are somewhere missing the base concept or fundamental ground about it. The secret of the mantra is contemplation and speculation of full glorious form of self-consciousness. When we recite the mantra, we become aware about our own existence. So basically we enter into an inward journey, knowing about yourself or oneself. The practitioners of the mantras, when upgrade to the higher levels of practice, they experience that the extension and appearance of same self-consciousness is present in outside the world and inside of the world. Whatever we are having inside, the same thing is present in outside things. So we all are the rest of the things which are available in the surroundings, they all are nothing but the extension of my own consciousness, because at the peak I will realize that I am not this encapsulated body or limited body or gross structure. I am something which is being covered by these limitations. So automatically my coverings or my encapsulations or my limitations are going to be dissolved. At that point, the practitioner or sadhak understands the mystics of the mantra. Shiva Sutra is a text of Kashmir Śaiva darshan, and it explains the reconcilement of chitta, cognitive instrument of the aradhak or adorer, the one who is offering praises in the form of mantra. And that sutra is chittam mantra. That means at this point, till now, why it was necessary, I told you, whatever I have told till the last lecture, why it was necessary. Just because this sutra says chittam mantra. If I won't teach you what is chitta, how can I explain what is mantra? Chitta, now you know chitta is delimited chiti, number 1. Having 3 possible constituents, ichha, Gyan and Kriya. The limitations of Ichha, Gyan and Kriya, that means Manas, Buddhi and Ahankar. So in turn, Manas, Buddhi and Ahankar are denoting the Chitta. And once your Chitta starts resonating with the mantra, that means you have started contemplating on something. Not necessarily you should be practicing the traditional mantras like Gam, or Om Gam Gadpataye Namaha, Om Namah Shivaya, not necessarily. You are trying to solve a problem in the mathematics. You are trying to solve a question of physics. You are contemplating on some problem within yourself. Your chitta is resonating with that entity. That means chittam mantra. Your chitta is becoming the mantra. Chitta is becoming the power to know, number 1, knowledge, avabodhan, number 2, observance. So in turn, this contemplation power performs the 2 things. One is the knowledge coming from the embedded intelligence. This is knowledge. And second, palan, it will preserve you, it will defend you. Aapki raksha bhi karega. If you are getting the answer correctly, you will get the marks. Automatically you will be defended. आपने आप अच्छे नंबर आ जाएंगे. If you are not able to do that contemplation, you are so much anxious, so much in anxiety or in panic or in depression, in frustration, you won't be able to switch on your embedded intelligence and you won't be able to get the answer, you won't be able to solve the problem, you won't be able to perform and you won't get the result. Automatically everything is going down. So this is how mantra is ultimately contemplation on anything ultimately gives you the 2 possible things, that is, one is knowledge and second is observance. Now here further the mantra is nothing but the sophisticated and refined power of thought, that is vimarsha shakti, which enlightens the real form of self. So when you switch on your embedded intelligence or embedded cognitive system, what you actually do, you actually switch on your vimarsha shakti, that is the power of Parā, that is a dimension of Param Shiva. Prakash and vimarsh. Prakash is luminosity, vimarsh is thoughtful aspect. So in turn vimarsha shakti ही आपको ज्ञान दे रही है. Your embedded intelligence is nothing but the vimarsha shakti of consciousness or Param Shiva. After this, in the text of Mahatmanjari, because till now I took the name of one text, 1 or 2 or 3, I think 3. First text was Pratyabhigya Hridayam, from where the sutra came, Chitihi Swatantra Vishwa Siddhi Hetu Svekshaya Sobhittau Vishwam Unmilayati. Second is Shiva Sutra. Right now I took the sutra from Shiva Sutra, Chittam Mantraha. Again, here another text is there, Mahatmanjari, from Kashmir Śaiva darshan itself. We are having all these. And one text was Paratrishika, from which I explained the transposition principle. So, अब तक हमने 4 texts list कर लिए हैं. From the Kashmir Śaiva darshan itself, we are having 4 texts, अभी तक जिनका नाम लिया जा चुका है. You need to remember them. Mahatmanjari is also a text and it explains the delight of resonance. When we resonate, accomplished with determination. You do a determination to find out a problem, find out a solution of a problem, that is determination. So you are in a delightful state of resonance. With whom? That resonance is mantra itself. You are going to resonate with the power of your own consciousness. And this is sankalpa purvakam nad ullasah eva mantraha. So here in Mahatma Manjari, another way of describing the mantra is available. How mantra is being described? If you determine something, if you make a determination on something that right now I have to prepare for the examination going to be held on 22nd. So the day before the examination you are determined to study. Determination, sankalp, right? Sankalpa purvakam nad ullasa. Now you started studying and continuously you are in a state of deep level of concentration. पूरे concentration पूरे ध्यान के साथ पढ़ना शुरू कर दिया है. So that state becomes nad ullasa. That means delightful resonance. Delightful resonance of what? That means with your own consciousness, with your own chitta. Delimited consciousness ही चित्त है. So with your own delimited consciousness, what is going to be resonate? The problem which you have undertaken in your hand. कि अब इसको पढ़ के समझ लेना है, इसको पढ़ के खत्म कर देना है, याद कर लेना है, या sort out कर लेनी है problem. So whatever problem you are taking in your hand, that problem and the delimited consciousness you are possessing inside, that is coming to a state of resonance, and that is something which is understood as nad ullasah eva mantraha, and that is something, it is becoming mantra. अब आप मनन करना शुरू कर चुके हैं mantraत्मक aspect. This delightful resonance or nad ullas can be understood in 4 stages. Last stage is Vaikharī, when you are disseminating the knowledge in gross speech. Just like right now, whatever understanding I possess, whatever knowledge I possess, I am trying to disseminate it in Vaikharī. That is the last possible stage. So in Vaikharī stage of Nadullas, even if right now I won't be able to resonate, to make my things resonate within, I won't be able to recollect. क्योंकि ये जो slide है, whatever is this apparatus is having, this is not having the knowledge, this is having the links for the hints for the concepts which are needed to be taught. But how and what content I need to taught, I need to teach, that is inside of me. So I am actually doing that kind of resonance through which I am bringing the knowledge in Vaikharī speech. So this is the last one. In this stage, difference has evolved. Differentiated state of is Vaikharī. Now the word and meaning are separated. I am speaking a word and I am having a meaning, particular meaning inside of me. So the mantra and its effect is also in a separate mode. Now the mantra will work as appearing to create an outside effect, like whatever I am teaching, you are listening, there is some kind of effect, but the effect can vary as per your cognitive capacity, as per the receiver. जिसको नींद आ रही है उसको कुछ समझ नहीं आ रहा है, जिसको जो बहुत attentive है उसको सब समझ में आ रहा है. So the receiving capacity of your cognitive apparatus chitta will decide what you actually acquire. While the truth is that effect is nothing but the potential power inherently present in the mantra. So in another sense, my speech is making an impact on you. My speech is making an impact on you, and that impact is being created because of the Shakti present inside of that particular Vaikharī Vak. So this is the last one. In the Madhyamā stage, difference cum non-difference is happening, is available inside my thoughts. And in that state, word and meaning are little bit separated, but still not completely in separation as in Vaikharī. This means they both are identical, but acquiring the differences. Similar situation prevails between mantra and its effect. So till I am having knowledge inside of me, that is a dual cum non-dual state. Everything is available in the form of thoughts, but it cannot make effect because I am not teaching it in Vaikharī, or I am not disseminating in Vaikharī. तो इफेक्ट भी वैसे ही है, मंत्र और उसका इफेक्ट भी वैसा ही है, डुअल कम नॉन डुअल. In second stage, that is Paśyantī, differentiation has begun, but the word and meaning are not segregated because I have already told it is just yet to begin. They are same and identical, so mantra and its effect is also identical. अभी differentiation हुआ नहीं है. So basically that state is completely potent because the effect and the cause is not separated. That's why what is being prescribed in our system, that if you contemplate inside without speaking in Vaikharī, you would be much more impactful. आपका जाप तब प्रभावी ज़्यादा है जब आप उसे मन में करते हैं बिना उच्चारण किए, मानसिक जाप. Because in that stage, dissipation of energy is zero. Your energy would be much more condensed inside to actually ignite the dormant energy available in the Kunḍalinī at the Mūladhara chakra, and it will be easy to ignite that Kunḍalinī to penetrate the Agya chakra. That's why mantra is always prescribed to be recited inwardly without making outer sounds. Jap is always like that. In the state of Parā, undifferentiated state about relation between word and meaning is available, as there is no differentiation, no separation. So basically mantra is also not in a state of different entity. So Parā, Paśyantī, Madhyamā and Vaikharī. So Mahatmanjari is actually dealing with the effect of the mantra. When it comes, highest possible effect of mantra is in Paśyantī, because the condensation of consciousness within your chitta is much more dominating, and it is very easy to transcendent the delimitations from Paśyantī to Parā, nearest possible level. And when it is being done in Vaikharī, just like when we are in a state of, in a habit of doing yajna, havan, puja in our homes, बहुत होता है ना. So what happens, one पंडित जी आते हैं, पूरा सब कुछ अच्छे से होता है, Vaikharī में होता है. A lot of people gather there, a lot of people are listening to the sounds, but it is making an impact. The one who is reciting, that energy is making an impact on the listeners, but the actual effect depends on the receiver. सुन तो सब रहे हैं, पर किसकी आत्मा कितनी जागृत हुई. सुनी तो सबने सत्यनारायण की कथा, पर कितने लोग सत्य बोलना सीख गए, depends on the receiver. But on the same side, in contrariety, if the person who is reciting the mantra is seated at Paśyantī, so the involution of one's own consciousness will begin, and the person will be in a state of resonance with the Parā, to touch the Parā automatically. That's why Shastra is dominated by the empirical knowledge. You experience it by yourself. You actually make an experiment on your own self, by yourself. Nobody else can make you in a state to transit your limitations. I can teach the subject, I can teach you the knowledge, I can teach you the Shastras, but I cannot actually make you to experience that, because that needs to be done by you. So this is an internal process of changing or transforming oneself, inward journey. After Mahatmanjari, Shiva Sutra also explains Chittam Mantra. So in this stage, cognitive instrument which is used to think about the nature of consciousness, that is Chitta, is directly related with consciousness, and it is not related directly with Varna. Now I am taking you to the Bhashik level. Like when I told you there are Sad Adhvas. Sad means 6. So 6 Adhvas. On one side we have Varna Mantra Pad, on the other side Tattva, Kala and Bhuvan. So Chitta is directly related with the consciousness, because Chitta is what? Delimited Chitti. And it is not directly related with the Varna until they become a part of thought process. That's why it is said in any of the Indian corpus text, in the books or in the Shastras, whenever you see, there is a mentioning that whatever mantras are written on a page of paper, on the page or on a paper, that is not mantra, they are nirvirya. they are without potency. Until and unless they become a part of your consciousness, they are potential-less. Once the sounds or varnas become an integral part of Chit, they resonate together due to the inherent power of vibration of consciousness. Thus, it has been said in Spanda Sutra. Now, Spanda Karika is a text of Spanda Shastra. I told you if Kashmir Śaiva Darshan has 4 branch subsystem, Pratibhigya, then Kul, then Kram, then Spanda. So, last one is Spanda. The mantra become powerful through accessing the magnified force of consciousness. जब तक आपके consciousness का हिस्सा मंत्र नहीं बनेगा, कोई भी चीज़, any kind of problem, if that won't become a part of your own consciousness, that is not going to be potent enough to give you any result or any effect. This clearly explains that real power is of consciousness or Param Shiva, who channelizes and magnifies the dormant potencies residing in mantra, collective phonemes. So, mantra is the highest level of self-realization and sensation of meditative practice, that is sadhana. Through this, person feels unanimity with the effect of the mantra due to the realization of self. Thus, mantra becomes known for its effect and world becomes known as similar of mantra because of vibration. So, this is how Chittam Mantra is explained in Shiva Sutra itself, that once you start practicing mantra within yourself, then only they are going to be helpful to link yourself, your delimited state, with the unbound state of consciousness. You need to remember one thing also, like infinity, or if in Sanskrit we use infinity like Ananta, okay, and I used this word unbound, without limitations, without encapsulations. So, infinity is not equals to unbound state. Infinity means, if you translate if you use the Sanskrit word Ananta, it will be like without end. Okay? Unbound is not equal to without end. Unbound is without encapsulations, without coverings, or without limitations. So, in turn, when we are in a journey of introversion, we have to dissolve our limitations or encapsulations or coverings. तो जितने कवर धारण कर रखे हैं उन्हें हटाना पड़ता है. फर्स्ट स्टेज ग्रॉस बॉडी, I am this gross body, this is first stage which has to be trespassed, which needs to be trespassed. Annamaya Kosh, first stage. Second is Pranamaya Kosh, this breath, because after the gross structures or organs, we think that our breath is responsible for our life. अगर ऑक्सीजन नहीं मिलेगी या हृदय की गति नहीं चलेगी या श्वास नहीं चलेगी, हम समझते हैं कि बंदा मर गया. We consider it like there is no life. But in case of yogis, I explained that for the longer period of time, you won't feel any visible pulsations there, because that is a state of highest possible reality when they have been completely absorbed in the meditative level of concentration. That is second Pranamaya Kosha. And after that also Annamaya, then Pranamaya, then Manomaya. After that Manas is there, Mantratmak, when you are contemplating something. For some students, those who know the story about Einstein's life, for how much duration of time, or for how much hours he was in his laboratory. Have you ever read the biography or autobiography or life history of Einstein or any other person, any other scientist from the modern sciences also? किसी की पढ़ी है, नहीं पढ़ी है तो पढ़िए. At least for that, from that example you will get the point that when you are highly contemplated or condensed, highly concentrated on some kind of task, that is itself making you a state of yogi. आप ध्यान में चले गए, विषय कोई भी हो, वो योगी ही है, योगी का चित्त ही है, जो ध्यानस्थ हो सकता है. So at that point you are slowly transcending yourself from Annamaya Kosh, then Pranamaya Kosh, then Manomaya Kosh, then Vijnanamaya Kosh. तब intelligence आती है. Then you find out something which is very marvelous in understanding and knowledge. And after Vijnanamaya Kosh is Anandamaya Kosh, unending happiness. क्योंकि आप खुद ही अगर कोई प्रॉब्लम सॉर्ट आउट कर लेते हैं, देखिए कितने खुश फील करते हैं. I have done it, completed, accomplished. The feeling of accomplishment comes. last is the Anandamaya Kosh. So, in order of reverse journey, involution, you have to get relieved from the bonds or encapsulations or limitations. And this is being told in Indian corpus through the mantra. Now, I am taking you from the agamas to nigamas little bit, because in Nigama Shastra we have a lot of mantras. Complete Vedic corpus is dominated by the mantra itself. So, here you can see this, there is a mantra. This is a mantra from the Upanishad, Taittiriya Upanishad, and this is read like Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om, and then the mantra goes on. So, here there are so many markers. I will teach you what are the possible markers. There are 4 types of ascents in the Vedic corpus. First ascent is Udātta ascent. Udātta is acute ascent, high pitch, sharp tone, and it is unmarked. Normally all the mantras are recited in high pitch. So, it is unmarked Udātta sound. Anudātta is the grave ascent, not elevated or raised. If we see a horizontal line, just like in this one, horizontal line below a letter, we have to drop the pitch, Anudātta. Svarita is the third one, a kind of mixed tone produced by the combination of high and low tones. If we see a vertical line above the letter like this, we have to raise the pitch, that is Svarita. And if we see a double vertical line above a letter, we raise the pitch and stretch it, it becomes Dirgha Svarita. So, here you can see how it is there. Shanno Indro Brihaspati, normally har shabd Udātta mein bola jayega. Whenever there will be a underlined word, it will be sounded low. Shanno, no mein, na mein hum niche kar denge. In the same way, Avatu Vaktaram mein we have to stretch it like Avatu Vaktaram. This is the way how we recite the mantra. So, these are the 4 possible markers which you will always see if you start studying any Vedic corpus, or you just borrowed your Rigved by the curiosity in your life, and you start reading it, you will find these kind of markers. Then what they are, you need to know that. So, we have 4 types of possible markers for 4 types of possible ascents when we recite it: Udātta, Anudātta, Svarita and Dirgha Svarita. In specific instances, the swar of the previous letter is carried till the next occurring Anudātta or till the end of the pad or mantra, that is known as Prachay. This is the 5th one, but it is very rare in the corpus. So, I am not dealing or teaching you right now because in this mantra it is not available. After this, the purpose of mantra, there are 2 purposes. One purpose is effectivity of the mantra to achieve the worldly benefits, and second is the effectivity of the mantra to realize one's own transcendental form. Now, this is something which is very important. Why? Because these days you see, or we all see, so many scandals, right, in the name of a lot of the things. If you Google the things in the name of Indian corpus or Indian practices, a lot of the things which are available, they are just either they are misused or misrepresented or knowingly created in a malformated form. Kyun? Because our own generations are neither studying them nor knowing them, and those who are working on them, they are understanding in their own capacities, and then they are defaming it. We need to know that thing very clearly. First thing is Sāñjana, that is effectivity of mantra to achieve worldly benefits. Those who start practicing, like suppose for example, one of the curious person among us started practicing sadhana, and after some time started taking jal samadhi and received so little bit potencies, and after receiving that potency, person came to you and showed his own powers. मैं ये कर सकता हूँ, मैं आपको ये करके दिखा सकता हूँ, मैं इसका दिमाग पढ़ सकता हूँ, मैं आपको भविष्य बता सकता हूँ. These type of people are around us. You feel like, yes, he is having the powers. She is having the powers, okay, fine. And after some time, the person will just misuse his own potencies, whatever the person has earned, and after that again back to the Parthivand. So itne se kaam nahi chalna hai. The one who is able to achieve transcendental form or realization of one's own transcendental form without getting involved in the vibhuti or aishwarya or siddhi, that can only understand the actual purpose of mantra, that is Nirañjana. Nirañjana मतलब होता है अपने स्वरूप की सिद्धि करने के लिए मंत्र का प्रयोग करना. That's why, this is the reason why Tantra Shastra got defamed. Why we are popularly understanding Nigama Shastra, specifically Vedas, Upanishads, Vedanta Darshan, but we are neglecting or we don't know about the Agama Shastra, Tantra Shastra, or we think that they are something which should not be studied, or Tantra is something which is mystical and Jadu Tona, local Totkas dominate. This is why we have been in a state of mental misconception about the Shastra and their wrong practices. Just like you imagine, you are living in an era of technology, you have so many technology, you developed so many sophisticated technology, but we never expect that the technology should go in bad hands. क्यों? इतनी conferences, इतनी seminars इसी चीज़ के लिए तो होती है, इतने युद्ध किस लिए हो रहे हैं? Each and every person is trying to defend or to propose his own side as the good one. I am going to use the technology for the good purposes. But each and every person is concerned about the bad uses. And still the war is happening. Why? Because technology is knowledge. But the user, how the user uses, depends or creates the effect. The same is with the Tantra Shastra. In Tantra, we have Shad Karma, Vashikaran, Marad, Uchchatan, and so many practices which are just a part of our Siddhi, Vibhuti or Aishwarya. Automatically, once you start the journey of involution, you would be getting out of the coverings, you would be possessing much more magnified powers. If you are going to use your power in a wrong direction to do or practice something wrong, that is the fault of the user. That is not the fault of the Shastra. Shastra has already laid down that specifically mentioned what is the purpose of the mantra, why it should be practiced. That's why local people, locally in that sense, locally, those who have not practiced till their transcendental achievement, they stop in between and they start practicing to get the popularity among the others. And in that case, they misuse the powers. And that is something which actually defames the Shastra. So you need to be very conscious about the concepts of the Shastra also and the persons who are practicing it, before getting entangled or getting captured by those persons who are practicing in some kind of wrong ways or unlawful ways. You need to have the basic understanding what Shastra is saying. The purpose of the mantra is for Sāñjana and Nirañjana, and the effect depends on the user. When mantra functions to provide worldly benefits, the power inherent protects the practitioner. And when it functions to enlighten the self, the process of speculation or manan begins or dominates. In Kashmir Śaiva Darshan, it is explained that the power inherent in the mantra is none other than the Shakti herself automatically, and Shakti is titled in the system to show the power of consciousness. In general understanding, we can equate this energy as an intelligible energy. The intelligible energy, when conceals her real form and potency, the mantras create a particular effect. That means the convergence or contraction of energy at a fixed target produces the effect, and this effect is brought about through the mantra. When the same energy reveals herself, the real form of consciousness shines, and this becomes experienced to the practitioner as a self-realization through the recitation of the mantra. So there are two approaches. First is expansion of self, and second is contraction of self. Ātma-vibhava and Ātma-saṁkoca. What is your target? It depends on the user. What is your target? Acharya Abhinav Gupta in Kashmir, because Kashmir Śaiva Darshan is popularly known by the Acharya Abhinav Gupta, I told you about him. And he says that the person is engaged there only wherever she or he wants to enjoy the world. Similarly, wherever the effect of mantra is desired, it is engaged there only. If the desire is to consume the worldly benefits, then the power of consciousness will conceal herself to produce the desired effect. And if the desire is to realize oneself, that dominates, the power of consciousness will reveal herself. That's why in Indian knowledge systems you will get narration about Kalidas. Kalidas is a very, Kalidas, I told you about Avigyan Shakuntalam. What is the life history about Kalidas? The story from his own life is like he was not a very wise man, but he was scolded by his wife. So he left and he worshipped Kali, Shakti, and through what? Mantra, just recitation of the mantra, and after that he started studying the Shastras and got the knowledge about it. So the realization was done, so the actual use of the mantra was done for self-realization. So in that sense, Kali or Shakti reveals, or you can say the knowledge comes from inside, reveals herself. And if he was supposed to know that no, राजा को मारना है, वो काम करके दो. आप कहते ना, भगवान लड्डू चढ़ाऊंगा बस पास कर देना, तो भगवान लड्डू लेके खुश हो जाते हैं. The way you praise yourself, because there is no separate Bhagwan. Divinity is inside of us. You are offering everything to yourself. And if you are making yourself satisfied with that laddu just to get passed, then automatically you will get the same. So whatever your desire is, that is going to be fulfilled by the mantra. It's very simple. And after this, the last thing which is coming here, in the context of the mantra, relation between mantra and spanda, because I told you once chitta is dominated with the mantra, or your consciousness is having mantra, or mantra has become part of your consciousness, it starts resonating. So your chitta starts resonating with the cosmic energy. So resonance is a potential or as a property of vibration principle. That's why the complete Shastra is named as Spanda Shastra. And in that sense, there is a concept, very interesting concept coming from Vijnana-bhairav. This is a karika, from Vijnana-bhairav, and Vijnana-bhairav is also a very important text. And here, ajapa japa, I will read it one by one, then you will find out the actual thing. Sakaren bahiryati, hakaren vishet punah. When we when we exhale, sa comes out. Bahirayati matlab bahar aata hai, it comes out. Hakarena vishet punah, it goes back inside with hakar. Like अब आप tired हो रहे हैं तो आपके मुंह से 2 ही 3 sounds निकल रही हैं. Hakaren and sakaren, breathing in, breathing out. So once you are breathing out, sakaren, sa, dental sa, dante sa. When the breath is going inside, ha. Then hans iti amum mantram. So in short, Hansa is becoming a mantra. And Jivo Japati Nityasha with the breath. Each and every Jeev, each and every manifested entity recites this mantra with the breath, because your breath is continuously functional. Right now what is happening? Your breath is functional. क्योंकि मैम कुछ बोलने नहीं दे रही हैं तो सिर्फ आप सांस ले रहे हैं किसी तरह से. So hums is the mantra which is being recited by your breath automatic, spontaneously, continuously. Shat shatani diva ratrau. Shat means 6, shatani means 100, diva ratrau, diva means day, ratri means night. Sahasrani means 1000, Ekavinshati means 21. Japo devya samuddishtaha pranasya ante sudurlabha. Hey Devi, that means Shiva is addressing to Parvati as his disciple. क्या कह रही है? हे देवी जपो समुद्दिष्टः प्राणस्य अन्ते सुदुर्लभः. Each and every creature recites this mantra continuously at the end of breath, without any target, without any purpose, unconsciously. So, though it is very durlabh, still it is available to everyone. So, I told you, till now I told you two things, like first mantra is aham, universal mantra is om. Now this is hams, or ajapa mantra is hams, which goes on with your breath. So, what this number is mentioning, ajap is automatic recitation of breath, available to everybody 24 hours a day. By breathing out, one utters sakara, by breathing in, one utters hakara, and in the same way one recites the mantra of hams, that is soham, because if you just reverse the sounds, it will be like saha, hum. So, it will be soham, so means that, aham means मैं. In Sanskrit, when we create saha and aham, after sandhi, it will be soham. So, this hams mantra is indicating that is me, I am this, I am that who, शिवो अहम और अहम ब्रह्मास्मि. मैं ही चेतना हूँ और कोई नहीं है, मैं ही ईश्वर हूँ. There is no one else other than me. That's why if you offer laddu to yourself, you will eat yourself. कोई और नहीं खाने आएगा. गणेश जी की मूर्ति नहीं खाएगी, आप ही खाएंगे. So, automatically ajapa gayatri is always existing for everyone day and night. 21,600 times this automatic recitation is done in 24 hours. So, now you divide this 21,600 and you 24 hours in minute, you place it 24 hours in minute and divide it, you get the pulse rate. The same data is available, and the karika is from Vigyan Bhairav, which cannot be dated. आज तक इसकी डेट नहीं निकाली जा सकती कि ये कॉर्पस कब से आया है, पर हमें पता है कि हमारी पल्स रेट कितने मिनट चलती है, पर मिनट हम कितनी बार सांस लेते हैं. ठीक है. सो इफ यू गो थ्रू द इंडियन कॉर्पस, यू विल फाइंड ऑल द डेटा as it is, as you think that we have been exploring right now in the field of sciences. Not only in the medical sciences, in all the fields, you will find everything. So, few facts at the end. Aham is formed by Ahama, a triad of Shiva, Aham, first mantra, Shakti and Bindu, that is Nara. Ma is the final point, union of Shiva and Shakti, where they dissolve into Param Shiv. The triangle of Aham is the essence of the trik system, that means first mantra is Aham, and then Aham forms Shrishti Bij, Ahama. This is Shrishti Bij, a mantra that is identical to the energy of expansion and creation. Aham can also be defined as Abhed, this is Abhed Anuttar, Hakar Bheda, and Makara Bheda Abhed. On the other hand, Maha, the mirror image of Aham, is formed by Ma, Ha and A and represents the Sanghara Bij. So, once Shiva is descending down, creation or manifestation happens. Once Nar is going to become the Shiva, dissolution happens. That is Sanghara. In that's why I told you when we have to complete the circle, coil, on one side descending of energy and on other side ascending of energy, and in turn it becomes a coil. That's why it is Kunḍalinī. So in turn जो कुंडलिनी हमें ऐसे दिखाई जाती है, ये सिर्फ एक तरीका है representation का, but in turn or in real concept we have to complete the coil. We have to complete the coil, then only actual introversion will happen. So the mantra that is identical to the process of spiritual evolution, or in other words reabsorption of manifestation back into the absolute. In Maha, Shakti enters in Bindu, the limited being, and reunites it with the Shiva. So in turn you have to use or sophisticate your Shakti, your power, your potency, which is dormantly present inside of you, and in that sense only we understand Kunḍalinī as Shakti. So there are three possible types of Kunḍalinī: Parā, Chid and Pran. We start from the Pran, क्योंकि अभी हम कहाँ पे हैं? अन्नमय कोश पे हैं, grossest possible element पे हैं. पृथ्वी dominated पार्थिव अंड में है. So at first we will purify all the annamaya kosh, and then we will start prana kundalini, mastering our breath. That's why pranayam is practiced. योग डे पे जो आसन कराए जा रहे हैं वो रियल योग नहीं है, वो एक हिस्सा है, योग का एक छोटा सा हिस्सा है आसन. आसन इसीलिए योग नहीं है. योग is to unify yourself with the ultimate consciousness, the grand state, or you can say you realize yourself as a grandest possible existence. So first of all we will start from the prana kundalini, that is mastering your breath, because your respiration, inspiration and expiration, internal respiration is available to you, all of us, and we have to start journey from here itself. Then we will be entering into the state of chit kundalini when the sadhak practices it without worldly longings. If you practice it with a longing, your own energy won't reveal herself up to its fullest or blossomed state. Remember, अगर टारगेट पहले से सेट कर लिया कि केवल एग्जाम पास करने के लिए लड्डू चढ़ाना है तो केवल एग्जाम ही पास होगा. If you set the target for self-realization, your own energy will reveal herself in its fullest or in her fullest form, original, ultimate, unbound form. It is experienced by the yogis by means of concentrating between any two breaths, thoughts or actions, or between the destructions and creations. You can start identifying Chitta Kundalini. If yogis' awareness continues to be maintained with the continuity, the breath is transformed from pran to pranan, that is life, automatically, because the coil is complete within. After this only there is a Parā Kundalini, the last one, topmost state, which presents the cosmic manifestation. That's why for yogis it is said that immediately whatever they desire they can create. It will be created automatically. So our own bhasha will create the reality. How? Because words are embedded in the mantra, and mantra are the real cause of pad. So whatever we are experiencing, this transcendental journey, that is just because of bhasha. And what aspect of bhasha? Mantratmak aspect of bhasha. Bhasha has such a deep understanding in Indian corpus only. No other corpus is available to us, and I think that is much more sufficient than to be completely ignorant about our corpus. It's better that at least all of us are knowing this corpus. So this is something which was presented to all of you by the name or by the heading of Mantratmak aspect of bhasha, and after this we have to just summarize the concepts we have undergone in this course in unit 5. So in the next lecture we will begin unit 5. Thank you.